Have you ever engaged in profound introspection, delving into the very source of those worrisome, anxious, and disheartening thoughts that relentlessly occupy your mind? In order to liberate oneself from the confines of the mind, it is vital to acknowledge a fundamental truth: you are not your thoughts, and there is no identifiable thinker behind them. It is imperative to comprehend that there exists no external entity within your brain responsible for generating these thoughts, nor is there an inherent self that gives rise to them. Certain thoughts arise based on the belief and sensation of being an individual self, while others emerge in the absence of such notions, originating from the intrinsic qualities of consciousness itself. The ego, often misconstrued as a separate entity, is in fact merely an operation of thinking and feeling. While some thoughts are influenced by the notion of separation, others spring forth directly from consciousness, untainted by such notions. Consider, for example, that all emotions ultimately stem from love and are, at their core, a manifestation of love. However, when love is filtered through the lens of separation, it can manifest as hatred. This occurs because the illusion of separation has the ability to obscure and distort love, giving rise to its manifestation as hatred. Consciousness possesses the freedom to manifest in any form it desires. Yet, when it localizes itself within the confines of a finite mind, it loses sight of its true nature. It overlooks the boundless expansiveness and potential it embodies, confining itself to the limitations of the mind. When our finite minds perceive the world, they readily embrace the information transmitted through our senses and thoughts, accepting it as the ultimate reality. This is a consequence of the mind's inherent nature of localization, where it comprehends and interprets everything from its own limited perspective. The mind is predisposed to trust the input it receives, granting it the status of truth. Yet, let us pause and deeply reflect upon the illusory nature of the self-proclaimed thinker, the me, that cunningly pursues identity. It masquerades as an entity distinct from the rest, appearing in various guises, be it positive thoughts or the accumulation of knowledge. However, let us not be deceived, for these are all mere thoughts, fleeting and transient. Furthermore, the sense of being an active participant in life's unfolding is merely another construct created by the mind. We can personally verify this truth through a simple observation. Consider the experience of watching a video, which may initially feel like an engaged and proactive process. Yet, when we delve into it, we come to realize that there is no identifiable doer or agent behind this experience. It all boils down to the notion of, "that's me," which, upon closer examination, reveals itself as nothing more than another passing thought. Though it may seem as if we hold the reins of control over our thoughts, the reality is quite different. Thoughts arise and occur without our deliberate command, unfolding as a natural happening. We possess far less control over them than we tend to assume. So, take a moment to contemplate this, to embrace the understanding that thoughts simply happen. They emerge within the vast expanse of consciousness, independent of our volitional influence. Our perceived control is but an illusion, a trick of the mind. If only we possessed the power to command our thoughts, putting an end to the ceaseless cycle of overthinking, anxiety, fear, and suffering would be a straightforward task. Unfortunately, the reality proves otherwise. These thoughts hold such tremendous sway over us because we mistakenly perceive them as our own, erroneously believing that we are the originators. This is where many individuals encounter difficulties during their meditation practice. They harbor the notion that they must actively do something, failing to grasp that meditation is simply about being fully present with whatever arises, including thoughts. It necessitates a state of receptive awareness. The mind, my dear friends, is a marvelous tool, serving us diligently when employed for specific purposes, only to be set aside once its task is complete. However, for the majority, thinking becomes a repetitive, futile, and often pessimistic endeavor, draining their vital energy. It resembles an addiction, a compulsive habit that deprives you of the freedom to choose cessation. Initially, it may deceive you with a fleeting sense of gratification, but in due course, it reveals its true nature, inflicting anguish and suffering. Regrettably, people tend to intertwine their very identity with their thoughts, constructing an illusory self, an ego, founded upon past experiences and future projections. They become entangled in the web of their own mental constructs, losing touch with the essence of their being. The ego, driven by its instinctual need for survival and fulfillment, incessantly projects itself into the future, distorting its perception of the present through the filter of past experiences. However, it is in the present moment where true liberation resides, awaiting our discovery. But, as long as we remain tightly identified with the workings of our minds, we shall forever elude its grasp. While thinking is undeniably a precious faculty bestowed upon us, its dominance has grown to such an extent that it now looms like a menacing beast, posing a threat to our very existence. We must transcend this state of consciousness, transcending the limitations imposed by an overactive mind. Let us be clear, thinking and consciousness are not one and the same. Consciousness, boundless and expansive, extends far beyond the realm of thought. While thinking depends on consciousness for its existence, consciousness can exist independently of thought. Enlightened individuals, those who have reached an elevated state of awareness, transcend the realm of incessant thinking. They rise above the mental chatter, refusing to regress to a state beneath thoughts, akin to that of animals or plants. In this enlightened state, the thinking mind remains a useful tool, but its employment is more focused and refined. In the realm of true creativity, a delicate balance is struck between thought and the absence of thought. This state of inner stillness, where the incessant internal dialogue no longer reigns as involuntary, becomes the fertile ground for inspired thinking. When thought is disconnected from the vast realm of consciousness, it loses its vitality and purpose. It becomes barren, deranged, and capable of wreaking havoc. The mind, in its essence, is a machine geared toward survival, not inherently predisposed to creative endeavors. However, genuine artists and scientists tap into a deeper source within themselves. They create from a place beyond the realm of thought, from the wellspring of inner stillness. It is in this state that true creativity flourishes. They discover that the intelligence residing within their beings, within their very bodies, surpasses that of the mind. And when the mind reunites with this innate wisdom, it becomes a remarkable tool, serving a purpose greater than itself. Often, we grant unwarranted power to every passing thought that emerges within us, thereby inviting potential destruction. Yet, here lies the good news: we are not these thoughts themselves, but rather the awareness that witnesses their arising. Without our awareness, these thoughts would cease to exist. Thus, it becomes imperative to continually question and inquire into this fundamental truth. Through such introspection, we can break through the illusion, recognizing our true nature beyond the realm of thoughts. Although thoughts may arise within the vast expanse of our minds, we need not identify with them as the authors or creators. Instead, we can simply rest in the space of awareness, observing these thoughts with clarity and detachment. There is no need to react impulsively to every fleeting notion. By cultivating stillness within, we gain a clear understanding that we are not the thinkers, but rather the very awareness that witnesses their ebb and flow. We are the stillness behind the thoughts, the silent observer. In truth, thoughts and words hold no inherent substance. It is we who infuse them with meaning and power through our interpretations and associations. As we explore our experience, we can begin to unravel the narrative of me that accompanies our actions. This sense of being the one who is doing something can be examined closely, and in doing so, we come to realize that we cannot be confined to the limits of the physical body. What we truly are is the aware presence that encompasses it all. Yet, as we search for this elusive me that supposedly governs our actions and experiences, we find that it eludes us. No matter how diligently we seek, we discover that the notion of "for me" is but a story, a fabrication of the mind. It holds no substantial reality. By recognizing this, we free ourselves from the illusion of a separate self and open up to the boundless expansiveness of our true nature. This profound realization brings us closer to the freedom we yearn for, a freedom that already exists within us. We are not bound to the identity of the thinker. Instead, we are rooted in the vast expanse of awareness that lies beneath our thoughts. As we gently observe our thoughts with detachment, without striving to control or manipulate them, a remarkable truth begins to emerge. We come to realize that these thoughts do not define us. They are transient visitors passing through the landscape of our awareness, like clouds drifting across the sky. We have a choice. We can either engage with these passing thoughts or simply let them go. But whichever path we choose, these thoughts do not reflect our true self. They are mere phenomena, arising and dissolving within the boundless space of our consciousness. By recognizing that the sense of being a doer is nothing more than an illusion, we liberate ourselves from the self-imposed limitations of our thoughts and behaviors. We can dwell in a perpetual state of awareness, where we calmly observe our thoughts without attaching any significance or passing judgment upon them. Through this practice, we open ourselves to greater peace, clarity, and contentment in our lives. We realize that our true essence lies beyond the ever-changing stream of thoughts. We can navigate the present moment with a profound sense of presence and fulfillment. By embracing this truth, we transcend the constraints of our minds and immerse ourselves in the richness of the present moment. As we reach the end of this journey, I invite you, my dear friends, to take a moment and reflect on the profound insights we've explored together. The journey of self-discovery and awakening to our true nature as conscious beings is transformative. As you continue on your path of introspection and self-inquiry, remember the power that lies within you. You have the ability to transcend the limitations of your thoughts, to embrace the boundless expanses of awareness that reside at the core of your being. If this video has resonated with you, I invite you to like and subscribe to our channel. Share this video with others who may also benefit from its contemplative wisdom. And also, I invite you to engage in the comments section below. Share your thoughts, insights, and personal experiences on the journey of self-discovery. Let us create a space for collective growth and meaningful dialogue. Thank you for watching and joining me.